What if you had to live this exact life again? Every moment, every choice, every pain, every joy, exactly as it happened. And then live it again, and again, forever. Would you say yes? Nietzsche called this the eternal return, the idea that time is infinite and circular, that this life you are living now has already been lived infinite times before and will be lived infinite times again. Every detail identical, every breath repeated. This is not metaphor. This is his thought experiment about how to live. Most people would say no. They would look at their lives and realize they are living in a way they would not choose to repeat. They are tolerating, compromising, waiting for something better, putting off what matters. They are living as if this is a rehearsal for a life that comes later. But there is no later. There is only this, repeating eternally. The eternal return is a test. If you knew every moment would repeat forever, would you live differently? Would you stay in that relationship? Would you keep that job? Would you waste today? Would you hold that grudge? Would you postpone that dream? The eternal return reveals what you actually value by forcing you to choose what you would repeat forever. Nietzsche believed this was the ultimate affirmation of life. To say yes to eternal return is to say yes to everything. Not just the good, not just the easy, everything. The suffering, the loss, the mistakes, the pain. To embrace eternal return is to love your life so completely that you would choose to live it exactly as it is, infinitely. This is amor fati, love of fate. Not accepting your life, not tolerating it, loving it, wanting it, choosing it, even the parts that destroyed you, even the moments you wish you could erase, because they are part of the whole. And you love the whole enough to repeat it eternally without changing a single detail. Most people live trying to avoid pain and chase pleasure. They treat life like a problem to solve or an enemy to defeat. They spend their days wishing things were different, wishing they were different, wishing their past had been different. The eternal return asks a different question. Not how do I escape this life, but how do I live this life so well that I would choose it again infinitely? This is not about achieving perfection. This is about living with such intensity, such presence, such commitment that you would not trade your life for anyone else's. Not because it was easy, not because you won, because it was yours, and you lived it fully. You squeezed meaning from every moment. You did not wait for permission to begin. The heaviest weight, Nietzsche wrote, is the thought that this life will return eternally. Some people would be crushed by this weight. They would despair at the idea of repeating their mediocre existence forever. But others would become light. They would be liberated. Because eternal return destroys the excuse of later. It destroys the fantasy of someday. It destroys the belief that you have infinite chances to start living. You do not. You have this chance, this moment, this life. And if you knew it would repeat infinitely exactly as you are living it now, would you change anything? Would you tell the truth you have been hiding? Would you create the thing you keep postponing? Would you love more recklessly? Would you stop wasting time on what does not matter? Eternal return is not a cosmological theory. It is a psychological tool. A way to evaluate every choice. Before you act, ask yourself, would I choose this if I had to repeat it forever? Before you speak, ask, would I want to say this same thing infinite times? Before you settle, ask, is this the life I would choose eternally? The answer reveals everything. It reveals what you actually want versus what you think you should want. It reveals where you are living authentically versus where you are performing. It reveals the gap between the life you are living and the life you would choose if you truly had to live it forever. You are living this life now, and if time is circular, you have already lived it. and you will live it again. The question is not whether you will repeat it. The question is whether you can say yes to the repetition, whether you can love your life enough to want it back, exactly as it is, for all eternity. This is the test. This is the weight. This is the liberation. Live as if it will all return, because maybe it will. And even if it will not, living as if it will changes everything.